I really hope for your sake you've done a lot of listening. Otherwise, all this effort that Spirit's gone to has been wasted. Hi, my name's Dee, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Possibly at the moment, Saturn and Jupiter can't harm. Being a general reading, all the general reading rules apply. All the details about the reading are down in the description anyway, but roles can be reversed. Timing's not absolute. These readings either are for you or they're not. Don't try and make them fit. If the past and the present, especially the present, doesn't fit, then it's not for you. It's for another Sagittarius. But what I would like you to do is come to my reading with a question. So take a moment, pause the video if you have to, think about all the questions that are around you, pick one of them and focus on it. Focus because energy in, energy out. So you'll get a better reading that way, theoretically. You'll have to let me know if that works. It's what I do with my clients anyway. I don't want to know what the question is. But be aware of all of the questions because the cards will answer whatever they choose to and not necessarily what you and I feel is the most important. So if I bring the cards up and press the right button, it will help. If I bring the cards up, 2 oracle cards. Well, I would say that flipped. It didn't. I turned it over in my hand before I realised what I was doing. So obviously that's not quite a flip, but I might as well take it. We have the first chakra from the Energy Oracle, Archangel Michael, and Perseus with courage, with the infamous number 42. And no, I'm not talking numerology, and I am not talking anything other than Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Marvel Comics. But I do feel that 42 is significant because you seem to be in a good place, but you are still needing to... You've either been working on security issues, first base chakra issues, or you are still working on them. On the bottoms of the deck, we have 6 of Pentacles, Temperance, and Justice. So this has been a slow process, even though you're pretty much coming near to the end of it by the looks of it. There is decisions that I feel here you have to make rather than somebody, imposing justice upon you. Let me change camera again and you will see my shuffle video appear. No, you won't. You'll see it that side. I feel like these are decisions that you are having to make rather than some decisions that are going to come down from on high from some outside authority on you. But you are feeling reasonably confident at the moment, although with this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like you've got your fingers in quite a lot of pies at the moment, but you are quite capable of having various fingers and extra limbs in the various pies that you have at the moment. But your insight is leading you to focus on one thing where you are feeling that there is some lack, that there is some poverty, that there is some absence, that there is somewhere where you require some assistance, even though you don't necessarily, I get from this spread, you don't necessarily like asking for assistance. But we have at the moment for you the Hanged Man. So over the Emperor and the 6 of Swords. So you're waiting, right? You're looking how to exert your power in the wisest possible way. Are you going to leave something and be reborn? Or you are in the process of leaving something and being reborn, and you're waiting for the end results of that? And let's face it, we've got a beautiful Ace of Swords here. So clarity is coming. Clarity is coming quite rapidly because this is right on the line of the present. But I feel that you might not quite see the clarity in the way that you're hoping. If you're hoping for an understanding, and if you're hoping for answers, you're hoping for facts, I'm seeing more that you are being given a direction, a clear vision of where to go, rather than a clear vision of where you have been. Because it is time for you to delve into a little more shadow and delve into some unknown areas, because you have already protected that which you needed to protect, but you still need the courage to carry on your quest. And notice that I say carry on your quest, not commence a quest. You are in the middle of it at the moment. You are being supported, but there's only so much anybody around you can actually do to assist you with this, let's be quite honest. And the reason I'm saying quest as well is the minute as I was dealing this, I looked at the Ace of Swords, and the first thing I heard in my head was, I hold aloft my magic sword and said the words. You don't need me to say the words, but it is that sense of mission rather than that sense of understanding, rather that sense of, oh, I get it now, that's that, and this is this, and they link together in that way, and you turn the, it's not that. It's like, right, I know what I must do now. So let's have a look what's led up to this. You made a commitment to cut something out of your life, maybe maybe the commitment that was asked of you or that you made, you ended up committing to cutting less out of your life than was asked of you, but you have been working hard and creating a harvest. You've been waiting for that harvest to come along, and you've been wondering, is it actually really going to come around? And recently you have had some form of transformation. So, while you was waiting for that harvest, you got really, really, really anxious about it. We've got the Ten of Swords here, so that's the end of torment. In this card, it's very much a rebirth, like the spirit is freed from its earthly prison, which you can also say the warrior's just been killed. But I'm more seeing that the spirit is freed. That looks like a Valkyrie taking you onwards towards Valhalla, rather than someone who's just put all the swords in the poor guy who's kneeling there on the ground. But this is coupled with two eight of swords. But around the Eight of Swords in the, no, I've forgotten the name of whatever tarot, some form of monster, fantastical creatures, beasts, tarot anyway, fantastical something or other. We have the serpent line twisting up through the swords and bringing illumination with it. This is some form of anxiety, some form of dark night of the soul that you needed to go through to gain that illumination, to gain some answers. You needed to explore every single aspect of it, which sounds like not quite a nervous breakdown, but a severe intellectual exercise at least, But you were able to recognize that most of these obstacles had been lined up by other people in your way, and there were not really obstacles unless you let them, because you could just stand up and walk around them. Everything seems just a little bit too organized here, and the fact that you examining other people's motives, other people's actions and behaviors? Is that what's given you your impetus to move forward with the King of Wands here? You moved forward on your own. You accepted part of your lower nature to say, okay, this is how it made me feel. I am going to use that so that I do not feel this way again, but I am aware that I can. I'm aware that I have. I'm aware that it gave me skills to do that. Notice I'm saying skills, not hang-ups. It gave me skills on how to feel these emotions, how to act on these emotions, how to go through these emotions and out the other side. And it gave you a new not a new direction, but a new sense of freedom, a new sense of now I know I want to go somewhere. And that's what you're waiting for at the moment, because there has been plenty of symbols appear before you recently. Look, oh my God, you cannot get. The gods seem to have been smiling on you recently. We have the Wheel of Fortune with these are the two cards, the Tarot Apocalypsis and the Prismatic Tarot. I still haven't looked at the box. Both have extra cards in them. One in the Prisma, it's called Illumination, and in the Apocalypsis, it's called the All Gifted. The Illumination rather speaks for itself, but I think so does the All Gifted. So why are you still in the period of the Hanged Man? Are you still integrating these answers? You have been given your answers. You may be waiting to understand them. You may be waiting to go, what do I do with them now? That would make sense of that Hanged Man. But all the answers that you required on whatever it is, including the direction of your new start, has been given to you. But I don't think it's a bad idea that you just hang back and wait for a while, because it's as if, yeah, you've been given all these answers, but okay, now where do I go with this? I know where I go. I hold aloft my magic sword and say the words. You know, there's because this leads into the Ace of Wands. So there's quite possibly passion here, because Ace of Wands clarified by the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. But it could equally be that there is a choice that you are to face about forging ahead for something that you've always really wanted to do, something that you don't necessarily know a lot about, but have always liked the sound of. I've never tried it. I've never really researched it, but I wouldn't mind learning about it one day. And all of a sudden, this idle thought, that's probably been there for years, is there in front of your face saying, try this, do, because with the Queen of Cups being the mermaid here, the deep, in the deep, just in the deep. So deep mysteries of the sea, deep emotions of the sea, of the water imagery. Go for the path, the choice, with this Lover's card, that promises the most emotion, good and bad. There's strong currents under the sea. But the most mystery as well. The most where if I set foot on this path, I don't know where I'm going to end up. That's the one you want to go on. The mystery one. One has, if there is a choice with that Lover's card, one has a roadmap and one doesn't. Go for the one that doesn't. Because you will be obeying your own, fairly new, I don't want to say the word moral code because it sounds highfalutin, but there is a new code for you, what you're going to do, how you're going to approach things, how you're going to react to things, the intent that you're putting forward. It's already here in this Hierophant card. But what is really interesting is this trinity of not Mother, Maiden and Crone, but the male equivalent. So boy, man, sage? I would say, yeah, boy, man, sage. And I feel like the sage aspect of you, i.e. your higher self, is steering the man aspect of you. So we're talking about masculine energy, but of course we're just coming out of the time of the Ace of Wands, that going forward, going into things. Gender is irrelevant. There's masculine pushes, feminine receives, in terms of energies. Feminine's far better at listening, but I think you've gone through your feminine energy here because there's been a lot of listening with this Illumination and All Gifted card, or at least I really hope for your sake you've done a lot of listening. Otherwise, all this effort that spirit's gone to has been wasted. Here's a positive thought. Hey, let's start the new year with positive intent. Oh yeah, Happy New Year. You are going to be heading off on this direction on your own, but you are going to be going to somewhere safe, and you are going to be carrying a treasure with you. All those words tried to come out all at the same time there. So things, once you set foot on there, things start moving really, really fast. There is a little bit of shadow play around you, which you risk being blind to, but you don't have to pay attention to the shadow play. You can simply, and when I say shadow play, that's people not being entirely honest with you, hiding their motives, or you just simply, not even hiding their motives, but just having motives that you don't know about. But you can remain clear of all of that by noticing what does and what does not involve you. And you do not need to be cast aside in somebody else's power games. If you don't pick up the swords, you don't need to be involved. So there is while things are changing for you, there's a situation going on around you where people are fighting for different things, where you need to go, you know what? Your fight. You crack on. Do what you want. I am not involved. Because I don't see any cards here that are calling you to come and defend somebody else. This is all, even though I've got this Perseus courage, the courage seems to be more staying out. The courage seems to be, don't get involved, let the cards fall where they may, let dice fall where they may, let the cookies crumble. There's but there is somebody who could try and manipulate things to your disadvantage if you get involved. But you don't want to get involved because you don't know all the ins and outs of that situation. You don't know what their motivations are. You don't know what the opponent's motivations are. In the meantime, you're doing quite well, thank you very much. You're doing, as long as you are staying out of this, you are leveling up for one level. You're going on to the next stage of your development. So you'll have integrated these answers. I mean, it looks like Christmas and New Year, you've had a hell of a download, whether it's from the planets or whether it's family secrets or whatever it is. You've had a hell of a download, which has taken a little bit of time to integrate. But yes, going on to the next stage, notice the Princess of Pentacles here is pregnant. She's birthing new life, abundance, fertility. Look at all the flowers around her. There's new information coming to her in the form of the birds. There is clarified by the 10 of Pentacles, so materially you'll be fine. And like I say, so be aware of that magician. You should be that magician by casting your own shadow or refusing to cast a shadow. Ignore the vampire imagery in that metaphor. But you are going to a time, as long as you're not getting involved here, you're going to a time of, new friends who have all-encompassing positive emotions, because I'm really feeling the pressure of the water. I'm feeling like these seahorse type creatures. Are they hippocampi? I think they are. It's almost like as they're swimming, I can feel the water go around the front limbs. So that water is all encompassing, but it feels good. It feels great. So they're positive emotions. So there's no third party situation here. There is not a load of friends who are just going through the motions and pretending to cheer you on. That is new people that's really, really, they're just secure in their existence, as I feel you are becoming. Let's have a look at well, no, let's not. Let's look first at what is defining your actions at the moment. So I'm looking at the what I call the relevant past, something from ago that is a lesson that you learn that shapes how you're reacting to things right now. So yeah, this might be why there's this warning about the magician here. There's something in the past where you've tried to play games and you've tried to manipulate and maneuver, which left you very much more on your own than you wanted to be, more the wounded warrior aspect, although it certainly it gave you a dawning realization there, led you to move towards a whole new area of life. Did you listen? Yes, you did listen. You listened to the lesson that you learned there of, oh, I'm not doing that again. I'm not getting involved in that sort of situation again. And it's like, yes, I can see the path that I'm going to go on. And you committed to it with all your strength, and it never really seemed to get you anywhere. And so you're wondering, this is maybe why the hangman at the moment, you're wondering, okay, I can see this path really, really clearly. Because bear in mind that choice of where you can see and where you can't see has yet to come up. I can see, and you can see clearly in general terms. You know, I'm not talking like a Google Maps in 15 minutes and 12 miles. You turn left and make sure you say hello to the postwoman or something like that. You know, but although you made the effort, it was like, when's this actually going to pay off? I learned the lesson. I learned the lesson of what I needed to do all those years ago. But it's almost like you're still paying for it. That's because you need to be moving into a whole new area here, like with these new people who are secure amongst themselves. Right, now, a possible future, or possibly two futures. Let's see how the cards go. There are going to be lots and lots of options for you. Take the most grounded of them, and you may find that most of the options, they're a bit sort of, yeah, it's great, it's lovely and fancy, I'm not interested. That looks to be the most practical one. That's the one where I keep my feet on the floor. And then that one starts moving, and you don't necessarily keep your feet on the floor, but that's only because it's moving so fast, and it's in a good way that you are charging forward. But take the path that is more, again, self-reliant. Don't be dissuaded by the information of other people coming to you or people trying to sway you one way or another. You want the, I mean, I know you're a fire sign, but there's a huge amount of earth energy here. And again, there's your magic sword. Now, more like Excalibur this time, stuck in the snow. But glowing with its inner light, ready to be drawn, and held aloft and say the magic words. That seems to be the one where what looks to be the harder and more grounded path, it will suddenly whoosh beyond your control in a good way. That's because, I mean, look, we've got the final outcome card here of the Sun. You don't get a better final outcome than that. Two of Wands, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Two of Cups. Right. Go for the more go for the mysterious choice, the one where you can see where you end up, and the one where you can't see. Go for the choice where you can't see where you'll end up. Then you get presented with numerous options. go for the one that seems the most grounded, the most tied to the real world. So never mind the highfalutin moral lesson that you learned years ago. That's coming into play right now, this minute. That's why you've gone through what you've gone through recently. This new stuff is literally that, new stuff. But we have the Sun, the Ace of Wands, of thrusting forward into a new life, making plans, making wise plans. 2 ravens here, and 2 of Cups. You know, the bringing unity together. Almost a baptism with this pair, with them being in the stream. And the Sun, which is the nicest card in the deck. Although some people would say 2 of Cups is the nicest card in the deck. But the Sun, glory, health, magnificence, abundance. With this one, expansive understanding of everything that is around you. But you are scared that making this effort, that the world will actually not pay out for you, that your dreams will have been for nothing. Bear in mind, you're still identifying how to work your dreams at the moment. You are... you've been given the dreams, but how do you express it into the real world? Well, you hold aloft your magic sword. You know, there's you will, that clarity is coming to you of the direction to move in. And if you're saying, well, how do I do this within it, and how do I do that within it, that's going to come apparent. But your plans will come to fruition, just not in the way that you expected. Okay, how's other... Because someone else is really has been quite angry. And someone else has also been very, very, very aware of your strength. Your strength is coming through in a big in a big way here. And again, there's that grounded element. So I think whatever Sagittarius I'm talking to, you may well have a lot of earth in your chart as well, but there's almost like they've seen that your old dream with all this 8 of Swords has fallen to bits. They haven't seen where the new dream is coming, but they do have faith in your ability to surge forward. They're almost waiting for you to, like a caterpillar, to come out of the cocoon as a butterfly. You've just got to deal with those security issues, whatever they are. Right, let's have a look what the guardian angel of maturity is. I take responsibility, I also develop my strength. You're in the process of taking that responsibility, but adjustments are required. 3rd quarter moon, yes, because of all this information, this download that you had. You are in a period of self-reflection. It is right for you to proceed softly. The moonlight is telling me how you are slowly gaining understanding and vision of everything that is around you. That there is a cosmic order here that you are slowly finding your place within. Now, there's stuff that's been going on. Like I said, there's somebody around you that was angry. And that's the first time it seemed to really, although there was hints of it over here, whatever had been stressing you out quite so much, that was outside of the bounds of the reading. But here we have revenge. We've got the card for conflict. Yes, because that magician that it's for you to go, no, I'm not playing your games. I'm not getting involved. So that magician, that power wanting to manipulate you, is somebody that you already know. You're well aware of them. Because your vibration is rising. You have the insight to... you've been given the insight with this download here. You are creating your own sacred space within. It is time for a cleansing detoxification of your body and mind. And that's what you're going through at the moment with this hangman card. because you've had the download. You're now trying to process the download and get rid of the bits that you don't need from your old self. So maybe, yes, do some of that in the physical world, not necessarily a fast, but what is it? Cabbage soup? 3 days of cabbage soup or what have you, although I don't like the idea of that. But do some detox tea, lots of swimming, lots and lots and lots of water. But as you're physically flushing your system out, be emotionally flushing your system out and psychically flushing your system out to get rid of the influence of these other folk. I release all that no longer serves me. So yeah, there is this battle. If this Eight of Swords, this recent stuff before your download, if that is a battle that's going on, that's still going on in the near future, well, it's war, but it's a war that you don't have to take part in. You are able to reduce it in your vision and go, it's because of this, it's because of this, and because of this. And none of those things affect me. None of those things are to do with me. I don't have any power over these things. Not to do with me, mate. I'm over here. You are going through a time of transformation. I think we've already covered that with the different cards. Have faith that you're heading in the right direction, because you will be. Remember the path there where you can't see the end of it. Remain vigilant, however, because of the tricks of this magician person or people. Don't get me wrong, this could be more than one person. I accept I will always face obstacles. I know I have the strength to overcome them. And these enemies, like I said, you're reducing everything to go, well, that's because of this, that's because of that, and that's because of that. So you can have some empathy with them. Still doesn't mean that you need to get involved. So, Sagittarius, if that means anything to you, because that was a quite complicated one. If that means anything to you, comment down below. Please press subscribe while you're there, because, hey, I'm a new channel. Young channel now. I'm not new. I've been going 2 months. Happy New Year in the meantime. It looks like you've had a doozy of a festival. And you're on the right path here. Remember, it's soon time to hold aloft your magic sword and say the magic words, all right? So you're on the right path. That despair period, that's over. Right, so have a look at your waxing moon reading, because I think that should be quite relevant. Very soon I'll be coming out with the full moon readings. In the meantime, stick at it. You're doing really, really, really well. All right, cheers.